open the Victoria County Municipal Council meeting for December 15th, Wednesday, December 15th. The agenda has been circulated. Are there any additions or deletions to the agenda?
Jackie said she didn't get a link.
Yes, she'll say nothing from Dan, nothing in junk.
Okay, we'll continue to work on that as we proceed with the meeting or progress with the meeting. So hopefully she or be able to join us. And again,
I move we adopt the agenda as presented.
thank you, Councillor McNeil. Do we have a seconder for that, please?
Second.
Second.
Thank you, Barb. And the agenda has been approved. And we just wanted to make a note that we want to acknowledge this meeting is being held in Unama'ki, one of the 7 traditional districts of Mi'kmaq, the ancestral and unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq people. So with that, the meeting is open, and we hope that Councillor McDonald and Councillor Organ will be able to join us in progress. We also received regrets from Councillor Patterson. He will be unable to join us today. So our first item up on our agenda this afternoon is the Eastern District Planning Commission. Jonathan is with us from the Planning Commission to look at 2 properties that were listed as unsightly. He is going to provide a report on those, and he will be looking for a recommendation from council. So we'll turn it over to Jonathan.
Yeah. Okay, just give me a second here.
So,
Okay,
good.
we're live.
Jackie has joined us.
I'll throw out an apology there as well. Jackie, I just noticed your email was missing the J in your email address. So when I went back to resend it, it was there. And Norman, you had an error in yours. So my rush this morning, I apologize on behalf.
I thought I was going crazy.
Okay, and just before Jonathan starts, I think Councillor Longa has excused herself from this portion of the meeting. The properties are in her district. And nice to see you, Jackie. How are you? So we will proceed. Thanks for joining us, and our apologies for not being able to get in touch with you earlier, but we're up and running now. We haven't missed anything other than the adoption of the agenda. So we're going to turn it over to Jonathan from Eastern District Planning, and it has been noticed that Councillor Longa has exited the meeting. And they will be joining us shortly. They just have some internet issues trying to get Jonathan on. So please bear with us for a few more minutes.
Sorry there, we're just getting him hooked up on another computer because the hotspots are now flaking out here as well. So if that happens on mine or Dan's as the host, we may have to log back in as well. So we'll apologize in advance, but things are out of our control at this point. We should have some elevator music or something that we play right now.
Perhaps Councillor McDonald could lead us in a couple of Christmas carols. He's a well-known singer from Cape North.
So Dan, you have a shared screen there now.
Here we go.
This is good.
we're getting it figured out here.
So Jonathan seems to be on here now. Bruce, Warden.
Thank you. And if we're ready to go, Jonathan, we'll turn it over to you. You share your screen and take us through the process. And I think just with the difficulties that we're having today, we'll let Jonathan go through his presentation. And if there's any questions, we'll save them to the end. Thank you very much. Over to you, Jonathan.
Okay, thanks. I'll go quick while I'm still connected here. So this is, we have a couple of recommendations to make based on open complaint files that have progressed to this point. So the first one I'll start with is in near Englishtown, 763 Highway 312, the property of Andrew Walker. This has been an open file for a long time. We've been working with the property owner. We had issues of, it was a member of his family that owned it, and there was some transfer of the property, and that took some time, and there was an intention to come and fix it. And of course we had the pandemic, and but it's basically progressed to a point where we've been in discussions with him, and we're just going to recommend it for demolition at this point. So this building, the building was posted with notice of the date and time of this meeting as required. This is the building itself. It's a small cottage and there's a small shed adjacent, but as you can see, the roof is deteriorated, collapsing, the exterior finish, the shingles are, paint's missing, and the building's sagging and hasn't been inhabited in many years. This is another view. There's a brick chimney that is deteriorating as well. Some bricks are missing, and at all points of the changes of pitch on both this slide and this slide, water's accumulating and appears to be entering the building, and the building is damaged and settling, and again uninhabited. This is some rot that's visible, and looks like was patched up a while ago to prevent anyone from, or any animals from entering, but yeah, the property's just continued to deteriorate. And this is the shed in the backyard on the same property, open and accessible. The roof is severely damaged. It appears to be settling, and again, neglected and uninhabited. And so I kind of hit the points of why it's reached this point where we're recommending it for demolition, but it's the general state of the building, deteriorated and settling, evidence of entry of water and water damage, chimneys deteriorated. Everything is uninhabited, I guess, and not in use, and is slowly, or not slowly, moving in a falling down direction. So as far as the Municipal Government Act information and the definition, it certainly meets the definition of a dangerous and unsightly building that we would recommend for demolition based on the state of it. Unsightly too in relation to neighboring properties. There's inhabited buildings fairly close on either side that have this building between them. So it's our recommendation that an order to remedy condition be issued, and that order be a demolition order from council to the owners, that they would have 30 days to demolish and dispose of it. And if not, the municipality would complete that and recover the costs of the work. So that concludes our recommendation for this building. I didn't know if you wanted to work separately, or if you want me to do both, or.
I think since they're individual properties and internet seems to be working okay at present, I think we'd like to probably deal with them separately. And I just want to clarify, you said it was an inherited property. So this is still the Walker property in Englishtown, correct?
It is, yeah. It was his brother's, and it took some time for him to officially retain ownership of it, which he has now. he has plans for the property, but is agreeable that the building is, probably should go kind of thing.
Okay, and we don't have anybody present this afternoon to speak on behalf of the property owner.
Not that I'm aware of.
No, we have not been notified. Leanne, if you're on, has anybody contacted you in regards to speak to the proposed demolition order for this property?
I've not heard from anyone.
Okay, then I think what we will do now is the wishes of council to proceed with the order for demolition. If so, we need a motion in that regard.
So moved.
Moved by the deputy warden. Do we have a seconder, please?
Second.
Second.
Second by Councilor McNeil. I'm sorry, he was in first, Perla, so it's been moved by the deputy warden, second by Councilor McNeil. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion's carried. Thank you very much. Can we look for the next property, please?
All right, so this is the second property, if everybody can see my screen. So this is a property of Brian and Robin McKay, 47778 Cabot Trail in Tarvit.
Sorry, we lost John. Come back.
Just let me see if I can go find him in just a second. Okay, so we seem to have lost Jonathan, who was on I think he was on one of the main hosters. So just give us a second. Did we lose anybody else? Is Barb now gone also?
Well, Barb stepped out because of
Oh,
the,
right, yeah, sorry, right, okay. Just give us a second.
no, we're all
Norman,
here.
Norman, sing a few tunes. Okay, maybe we'll put Jonathan at Steph's. This could, because of the live streaming, this could be why we're having this. Okay,
All right, I think I'm back here. Everyone can hear me. Oh, wait. So I'm under Steph McLeod now, up here in another office. So can everyone hear me okay? Or,
We're good.
Okay. So I'm not sure where I left off on the last one. Oh, okay. So this is Brian and Robin McKay, 47778 Cabot Trail in Tarbet. So this is a little bit the opposite of the last one in some sense. We always try to work with the property owner as much as we can to get their compliance, and if they have intentions and want to work on the property, we like to let them have the opportunity to do that. In this case, we just yeah, that's kind of as evidenced in the last report we just had. I'm bad luck. You hear me okay? I'm getting a thumbs up. I think I'm okay here. Okay, I think I'll keep going until I disappear maybe. So yeah, we like the last property we had open for the complaint open for several years because we were able to reach the property owner or someone interested and wanted to fix it. In this case, for this property, we haven't been able to reach anyone. So we only recently got the complaint in November, but we don't have any contact information we were able to locate. The only address listed for the property owner is this address itself, which is evidently uninhabited. So there isn't really too many options we have other than to move forward with this, with the demolition recommendation. So the property was posted as well with a notice of this meeting. Kind of a blurry photo, but it's visible on the next slide. So this is the building itself. So it doesn't appear to have been inhabited for several years. You can see the main issues as far as water entry are in the valley up here, where the two roofs meet, kind of in the center top of the photo. There's some holes in the roof. One, I'll zoom in, or I'll go to the next slide. It zooms in a little. So there's some water entry here at the at that hole. The roof is no longer doing what it needs to do as far as keeping wind and snow out and rain. This here is a bigger concern. It's right at a corner of the wall, so it's right above a load-bearing wall of the building, and it's a fairly large hole, and all of the rain from everywhere is kind of being funneled in that general direction. So we're fairly certain there's significant water damage, although we haven't been on all floors of the building. But the building is open and accessible, which is another major issue in our checklist. And so that's another factor. And there's been reports of things living in it as far as animals. And this is just a woodshed in the backyard that's collapsed in on itself and feels should be included in the demolition order. It's just a small shed with a roof that's no longer keeping any weather out. So it's about ready to collapse. So from a building and a building inspection perspective, the home is neglected and dilapidated. The roof damage is an issue. The building's also open and accessible, which is another major issue. And again, the woodshed in the backyard that is partially collapsed. So the buildings are meeting the definition of the Municipal Government Act as well. Another factor noted is the driveway appears not to have been used in very many years, judging by the size of the trees that are growing in the center of it, or in the encroaching on it at least. So it certainly gives the impression of being uninhabited, and it's unsightly in the relation to the neighboring properties as well under the Act. So our recommendation is again for a 30-day demolition order from council to the owners. And if they don't comply, then the municipality would complete it and recover the costs. So that sums up that building.
Thank you, Jonathan. So council's had an opportunity to review the file as presented by Jonathan. So it clearly looks like the property of Brian and Robin McKay meets the criteria for an order of demolition. So in order for us to execute that order of demolition, we need a motion from council. Do we have somebody's council's wishes to make a motion to proceed with the order?
Can I ask something?
Sure.
If we can't find the owners to serve this, how are we going to find the owners to recover our costs?
Are they paying taxes? Are their taxes up to date on that unit?
That's a good question. Kind of refer that to Leanne. It would be assigned to their taxes for that piece of property. And I don't know if that's an account that's in arrears or not, but I guess we'd be looking at it from a safety aspect, and maybe it has to come down at our cost. I'm not sure, but perhaps Leanne, could you comment on that, please?
Yeah, sure. So if it is someone that we can't find, just like district planning, they have procedures that are in place to be able to get it to this point. We have the same thing for collection on taxes. So if we can't find them, we post a sign. We take our steps that we need, and then if it cannot be recovered, we can then put it up for tax sale.
Does that answer your question, Councillor? Thank you. Anybody else, any questions before we call for the motion, please? We have a motion. Is there an intent for a motion this afternoon to order a order of demolition for this property?
So moved.
Thank you, Councillor Organ. Do we have a seconder, please?
Second.
Seconded by the Deputy Warden. All in favor? Contrary minded? Motion is carried, and we'll proceed with the paperwork to the Planning Commission, I assume, from here.
Yeah, we'll prepare those and then return them for your signatures.
Thank you very much, and thank you for providing those two files this afternoon, Jonathan. We appreciate your time at council this afternoon. Any final questions, comments for Jonathan?
John, I'm just wondering how many other files in Victoria County would you be working on right now?
I'd have to check the files. There's several in all counties. I don't know how many are on the go exactly in Victoria, but I can look that up and send you an email maybe.
No, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thank you, John.
Okay, thanks.
Anyone else for question or comment for Jonathan? If not, thanks again, Jonathan, and certainly on behalf of council and our staff, we'd like to wish you a safe and happy holiday, sir, and to your compadres at the Planning Commission as well.
Thank you very much to you as well.
All right, travel safe on the way back.
Thanks.
We're going to move on to the minutes of council for November 29th. The minutes have been circulated to you. You've had an opportunity to review those minutes. So do we have a motion to accept the minutes, or pardon me, are there any errors or omissions in those minutes, please? Hearing neither, can we have a motion to accept the minutes of November 29th?
Move.
That was
I will
moved
move
by,
the-
thank you,
Perla.
moved by, thank you, Councillor McLeod, Perla. It's been moved by Councillor McLeod and seconded by Councillor McDonald. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion's carried. Is there any old business or business arising from the minutes of November 29th?
So I just have a couple of things related to that,
Sure.
whole business. So just to let Larry or everyone know that we're working with Lester Tingley on the Ingonish survey still. His comment was, the property does not look like it looks like on property online. So I think we thought there was 80 or so acres up there. We're not exactly sure if that's the case. But he said it's not a cut and dry survey, but it is in the works. So I just wanted to let you know related to that. We also had rink meetings over the last, over this week. So there will be, those have concluded. There will be a report that will be coming out of those meetings, and that will be circulated. I've contacted Develop Nova Scotia about having an update on broadband for residents, and they have contacted me back, informed me that they are planning on possibly an island-wide broadband update meeting, and they'll be looking at dates related to that. In Paul's district, we're working with TIR on the lights for the bridge. Seems to be a tough one. We've contacted Housing Nova Scotia, having them coming to council January 31st. There was an ask to have them come to council. The no dumping signs have been ordered, and they will be here when the sign company has them ready. And also, I toured down north, saw the damage to roads and our water line. Damage is extensive. I've asked EMO George Muse, our regional provincial rep, to keep me CC'd on any emails that he's sending out, any updates. So we're trying to get more updates, and when I get them, I pass them on to council. So that's what I have for old business.
Thank you very much. Any questions for CAO in regards to any old business or business arising, please? We're good. Thank you very much. Appreciate that, Leanne. So we're going to move on to the CAO's report, and perhaps we'll ask CAO to take us through that report, since we are doing virtual today, and we don't have a copy in front of us. So take
Okay,
us through it,
sure.
Leanne, please.
Yep, definitely. So had some meetings with my department heads. Want to let you know what's been going on in our tourism department. So Dan has reconnected with the regional tourism groups, and they're talking about what the groups are looking for, and seeing if they can get them aligned to our strategies and to the island-wide strategies. The BABTIP AGM meeting is coming up that him and Erica will be attending. He was also talking to some representatives down in Ingonish. Ingonish is looking to develop a long-term strategy, which is great to hear. He also has been in contact with Destination Cape Breton, and they're hearing a lot of discussions on the labor shortages. And they want to align those with efforts from Cape Breton Partnership with what they're doing on the housing study. So every area seems to be having a lot of concerns on housing and on labor. So we're wanting to see if we can have a united approach on those two items. He also has been working with ACOA on the winter market readiness assessment RFPs, and they are going out, and a consultant will be hired on that next week. A bit of an update on trails. So there was road and bridge and water line damage during the November 22nd, 23rd storm, but there was also a lot of damage to trails within the county, and the snowmobile clubs have assessed their damage, and we've had them prioritize the damage. Right now, the trails out of Bedeque are cut off, which is a problem since some of the hotels stayed open to accommodate extra travelers. So I'm going to bring up a motion a little bit later on to see if we can, based on prioritizing around the whole county, we have some areas that need definite work to keep the trails connected as far as they can. Also related to trails, there's ongoing work for the completion of phase 1 on trail development at the waste management facility. He's also had some discussions with other trail groups that are around the county on things that they are doing, their upcoming projects, and seeing if there's any way that we can help them with the trails fund that we have set up through the budget, and seeing that their trail strategy or their trail vision aligns or is in some way able to connect to the one that we have. And also we have sent out an area RFP, and it closes today, actually. So that's trails related. In recreation and active living, Lydia has been meeting with Schools Plus to see if there's any partnerships that can be arranged there. She's also working on an accessibility survey that's going to be sent off to the Jennifer Keeping Center at CBU. Possibly see if we can have a spot on our website for this accessibility study to see if there's some things that folks around the county are looking for that we could put in our accessibility plan. We're looking for an update on the Dingwall space. We're still waiting to hear on solar light quotes down there. And we're also still waiting on a COA funding related to that. She was working with the Healthy Alcohol Policy Coalition with the province, looking to finalize the mission statement there. We are looking, I apologize for in advance for the babysitting course that was supposed to happen on December 11th with St. John Ambulance, and there was something happened. The instructor did not show up, so we are rescheduling that, and we will make that right. That will be hopefully in January sometime. We're waiting on confirmation from Hike Nova Scotia to promote the winter guided hikes. She attended the engagement session at the rink with Skating with the Eagles on December 12th. It went very well. And looking at pricing out some items for rebuilding of the community garden in the back here. Senior safety, met with senior safety. Senior safety last week submitted the acting collectively RFP, and we're waiting on funding on that or acceptance of that. She says she's getting more one-on-one calls with seniors, and the top thing that they want to do is just to talk. So she's open for, she's actually seeing an uptake in her program and with seniors that are wanting to talk. One of the things that they're wanting to talk about is the new Seniors Care Grant that is available, the $500. And some concerns are coming out of that related to snow removal. The biggest thing that she's hearing about at this time of year is snow removal. And she wanted to pass on her thoughts and prayers for the missing senior in Middle River. Unfortunate event that is happening in the last couple of weeks in Middle River. In Public Works, in our Public Works Department, so water update on the Neils Harbor water system. So currently our tower is at 33 feet. It's gaining 5 to 6 feet a day. It's a slow process. It has to do filter backwashes every 12 hours. We need a minimum of 45 feet for pressure. So slowly it is getting there, but some areas are going to experience pressure issues until we get to the 45 feet. There was a number of perfect storm events that happened last year, just as our system went online. Nova Scotia Power, the equipment Nova Scotia Power had failed. So our water system was delayed related to that. So we apologize for that, but again, those things are out of our control as well. Public Works is working with Datacall, and Divert Nova Scotia is taking Datacall and the funding formula for diversion away from the province, so that we could see, hopefully we'll see a little bit more money coming in related to that. The province is also looking to see if they can sign on for the EPR program. We're hearing more about that. Anyone who is a member of NSFM would have known about the EPR program, and it looks like it possibly could be coming forward. We're also talking about household hazardous wastes. This is something I know the council is interested in. This is something that didn't happen last year, but what we're seeing is there's more and more things that are being dropped off or abandoned at the transfer stations, not because we're allowing it, but it may slip through the cracks somehow. For example, it may come in an old fridge that is that is okay for us to accept, but then it may have some hazardous wastes inside there. So we're actually having GFL this week come pick it up, and it's going to be costly to get rid of. So I know council had it as a as one of, or it was something that was approved to have the household hazardous waste buildings set up. So that's something that we're looking to get going sooner rather than later. Also, we're getting quotes on generators for the water supply sites, more important than ever based on climate damages that we're seeing happening. Couple of changes. We'll keep you on updates related to garbage collections and north collections. Now that the road is open, should make it much easier, but there are some changes to the Christmas schedule. Just wanted to let you know what the Christmas schedule looks like for collections. Over the holidays, Monday, December 27th garbage will be collected on Wednesday, December 29th. Tuesday, December 28th garbage will be collected on Thursday, December 30th. And Monday, January 3rd garbage will be collected on Wednesday, January 5th. So those are what we have right now related to changes in the sites. And keep an eye on our website for closures at those sites based on holidays around the holiday season. In the finance department, in our tax, in the finance department, our tax sale happened. I'll talk about that in my tax update. We'll need a motion from council for approval of the audited financial statements that have been presented. Not sure if you want to do that now, if we want to wait for motions later on.
I have that actually while we're here, and now we may as well do it. In fact, we probably should have did it right off the top. So we had an audit meeting just prior to the council session this afternoon, and we made a recommendation to accept the audited financial reports. And so that recommendation has come to council, and we need a motion from council to accept the draft audited financial reports as presented by the auditor this afternoon. So we have someone to make that motion, please.
I'll move we accept the audited financial statements as presented.
Thank you. The deputy warden has made that motion. Do we have a seconder, please, to accept those reports? Jackie has seconded. Thank you, Councillor Organ. And all in favor? Contrary minded, motion is carried, so that that report is accepted. Thank you, Leanne. Please proceed.
Great. So in economic development, Erica was tasked with helping host the engagement sessions for the ranks. They went well. As I mentioned, there'll be a report coming up following these sessions. She's also working on this housing survey, which targets generally the Ingonish area. It's in the edit phase and will be released either next week or early January. She's also had a meeting with HART, the Housing Assessment Resource Tool project that Amy had presented to council. That is now going to round 2, and there will be a meeting next week related to that. She says there's a lot of business plans coming in. It's a combination of new businesses and existing businesses that are looking to expand, which is great to hear. The Cape Breton Partnership are also planning on doing some business breakfasts, potentially coming here in January, and looking at doing some succession planning sessions, which is really important to start thinking about if you're a business who is looking to get to have a succession plan. There's also some new training through the partnership about manufacturing training, and there's some tie-ins, initiatives, and courses that looking to get pushed out. I think that there's some credits that are available for anyone that's interested in taking those. Also, a couple of other things. In conversations with regional EMO, Jim McDougall, he's had 2 meetings with us so far. They're looking to see about doing a regional EMO exercise around the whole island. They were looking for ideas for it. I said, we don't really have to look very far because we have a live EMO session that we're living right now. So they are taking that, debriefing from that. Also just coming up with an exercise so that looking at island-wide collaboration related to that. Wanted to let you all know that I've received a letter from the Nova Scotia Utility and Review Board. I believe 2022 is a year for boundary review. And as I mentioned at one of our sessions that we had, this is my first time going around with this, and a few of the counselors here, it will be their first time as well. So that is a 2022 initiative. I'm sure all of you have heard that there was meetings that we've attended, a couple of us attended on December 2nd. The village has voted to stay as a village and to not dissolve. So I wanted to keep you up to date on that. I think we need to have more discussions on where we're going with that as a county and our relationship with the village as they are in our building here. One other thing, two other things, the washroom expression of interest that we had sent out in the fall has now been evaluated. The sites will start to be announced in January once we have an offer letter ready for them. Last thing, I talked about it earlier on the trail side. There's some trails that are owned by some not-for-profit groups that need some help with funding for storm damage. We've looked into it and we are able to give funds to organizations through the gas tax fund. We've done our research. This seems to fit as a piece of infrastructure that fits into gas tax funds as the spot where we were also going to take our own gas tax funds to use for trails. So we were hoping the council would be good with making a motion to have $50,000 come from the gas tax fund to go towards 3 different groups around the county for flooding damage that happened related to trails. I'm going to try and see if I can get that pushed through to the province for flood damage relief, for disaster relief. But if not, we're hoping that council will approve it as a gas tax fund, transfer of funds. So if you're willing, I'm recommending that we use gas tax funds for emergency repairs required to get trails open for this winter. Going to Crowdis Mountain Snowmobile Club in the amount of $30,000, Cabot Snowmobile Club of $15,000, and St. Anne's Bay Recreational Trail Society of $5,000.
Okay, thank you, Leanne. I think we'll deal with that right now while you have made recommendation. Is there any discussion before we make the motion? Okay, Councillor McDonald has a question.
Yeah, I'm just curious, with prior to this, have any of those organizations received any dollars from municipality for trails?
They have, related to the trails budget that is available. Yes, they have. This is over and above. This is work that was based on flood damage.
Yeah, okay, I just wanted to clarify that.
Yes, yeah.
Leanne, question from Deputy Warden.
Yes.
Has anybody been in touch with North Highlands Cross Country? I'm wondering if they sustained any damage also. I'm just wondering if maybe where they're not actually a Skidoo trail, maybe they haven't been reached out to, but they are, and that in Ski Twinella. Ski Twinella is privately owned, but the Highlands Nordic is non-for-profit. I'm just wondering if anyone's out to see if they had any damage.
So Dan has been leading that. I might want to just let him step in. I'm quite certain that he has been in touch with those, but I don't want to speak on behalf of him.
We have, Lydia and I have had some meetings with North Highlands Nordic just prior to the flood, but no, to be honest, we haven't reached out specifically since the flood. We've had a couple of good conversations with them that I'm confident if they had issues, they would have reached out to us by now, I'm sure. The groups that we did reach out to were groups that in the same boat that we had just worked with recently and wanted to assess their damages as well.
No, thanks very much, Dan. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Dan. And I know I've heard from some of the groups as well, north and south, that they did sustain damage. So anyway, that is the motion, $50,000 to be distributed as described by the CAO. Do you have a motion to that effect?
I'll make a motion that we use the gas tax money for the 50,000 to assist the damage of the snowmobile clubs.
Do you have a seconder for that motion?
Second.
Thank you, Councillor McLeod is seconded. All in favor? Contrary minded? Motion is carried and the funds will be forwarded to the different clubs. Thank you. Thank you, Leanne. Please
Yeah,
proceed.
and can we just add on to there also on that motion, if you don't mind, subject to it not being funded through the disaster fund relief fund.
We can do that as long as it's okay
Okay,
with
thank
move second.
Okay here? Good.
Okay with you, Councillor McLeod? She is nodding
Yes.
the affirmative. So, thank you. Yeah, we can put that caveat on that
Perfect.
motion. Thank you. Okay,
And
anything
that's all I
else?
have. No, that's all.
Great, thank you. Is there any questions or comments for CAO? Councillor McDonald has one. Leanne?
Oh, yes, thank you, Warren. I'm just wondering to the CAO if when she spoke earlier of the washroom funding, is that something that would you be able to tell which districts that went to, or will we find that out in the new year?
So it is going to, let me see. It is going to District 6. It is going to District, District 8 has already received funding related to the same washroom. There's 2 in that area. There is funding, I don't have that file in front of me. There's a small amount going to District 8. Just a sec, I'm just getting it. Yeah, okay, so I believe it's District 6 and District 3 currently. So that will make that, so we received, yeah, District 6, so yeah, yeah. We received 6 different applications. We are expecting to fund 4 of them. 4 of the 6 that we received.
That's great, thank you.
Yep. That's all I have.
Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else have a question for Leanne? Very good. Leanne, I'm going to just mention about the meeting in the Village of Quebec, but I'll do that under district concerns that you attended, and I attended virtually, so we will have that discussion at that point.
Sure, sounds good. Yep.
Okay, great. So I think we'll dispense with the recess this afternoon and we'll just continue going on. And so if there are no further questions for CAO, we will move on to taxation update, please.
Sure, yeah. So first off, just want to welcome Alan Bragg. He's a new staff member here in the administrative department. He'll be working on some of the tax initiatives, on a few different things that will be going on here. So if my camera works, I can introduce him here. This is Alan.
Hello.
All right, so don't want to jinx things with the camera on. For too long.
We just want to take a second on behalf of council to, for those of us that just met Alan, and we want to welcome aboard. We look forward to working for him, and I hope you explained that we have a 90-hour work week.
I did. I told him that. He said he wanted 100. So
good answer.
Okay, so a tax update. So forgive me, it was a little late coming in. Again, our systems are down today because of no internet or no broadband. So we're agreeing with all of you even more today on the need for better Wi-Fi and internet. But 2021, as of today, December 15th, there was 1.285 million outstanding. Of that, 852,000 is current and 431,000 is arrears. If we compare that to last year, 2020, same date last year, there was 1.067 million outstanding. So, sorry, that's incorrect. There's 1.67 million total outstanding. So we're actually $386,000 to the good overall in our total of that 1.67 million of last year's number. 1.067 was current. So we're 214,000 better in our current compared to last year's number. And in our arrears, there was 603,000 outstanding. So that means we're 171,000 better in arrears than we were. So again, great work being done by our tax department on that. So kudos to all of them. Just to let you know, we had our tax sale that closed. It was a tender tax sale, closed yesterday. There was 6 properties that were in on that, and 4 of those properties sold. So our next tax sale will be happening in January.
So you were satisfied with the process with the tax sale?
Yeah, I think so. Yep. Again, we're always looking forward to a live one. But if things keep going the way they are, that may not happen for a while. But our tender process seems to be working. Yep.
Very good. Thank you. Any questions for Leanne in regards to taxation update? Okay, thank you for that, and trending again in the right direction, which is good news given current times. So we're going to move on to Department of Public Works concerns. We had a meeting this morning with representatives, or they had a meeting with us as representatives from Department of Public Works. I don't know if anybody wishes to. We went over a number of those issues this morning. So unless you wish to repeat or you have some new ones since this morning, just very quickly, is there anything you want to add? I'll just start with Councillor McDonald. Anything other than what we have compiled a list of items this morning that were brought forward to Public Works. So is there anything additional that you wish to add very quickly on that, sir?
No, thank you, Ward. I just wanted to do a quick update with this morning's meeting. Was residents of Meat Cove were inquiring to me about sanding process, and Mr. McDonald stated that there's 2 contractors locally that they're working with to try to resolve that issue. And also that with the operator shortage north of Smoky, that there has been postings put out on the government website, and to date, no one has applied. Just to address that. And lastly, I asked for an update on the Dingwall Road, and he said that in the new year, when the capital project list comes out, that they were 99.9% sure that it's a go, but I'll wait for the new year. And that's it for District 8, sir.
Thank you very much, Councillor. District number 7, Jackie, anything you want to add from this morning's meeting?
Just from this morning, I just got a phone call about plowing on one of the side roads, and I sent an email off to Steve to check into it for me. I'm getting some complaints about the new plow driver, so I also included that. So that's it for today.
Thank you very much, Councillor. Deputy Warden, just one moment, I'll slide over.
No comments. We're good. We'll be following up with Steve. Thank you.
Deputy Warden and I are 600 feet above the village of Bedeck in an air balloon this afternoon, so you can see. So it's a little warmer here today. So district number 5 is not available, so we will go to district number 4.
Yeah, I sent all my stuff into Steph and to be put in the minutes, so I don't think I need to bother say them. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. District number 2, anything you wish to add?
And thank you, Warren. Just to put it in the minutes after that meeting with TR today, the Goldbrook Bridge, West Side Middle River, West Side Bedeck, the Rocking Horse Ranch is reported. They're going to look after. The bridge in the man's the same. They're going to put in the list for be inspected. And Goldbrook Bridge and West Side, they're making plans to do how's the best to approach that. They don't have timelines yet, so just to update the residents. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor McLeod. Councillor McNeil, and any comments from District 1 in regards to Public Works?
Yeah, thank you, Warden. I'll just discuss the damage that was done on the last rain event with them, and hopefully the fixes that will take place in the near future. Also, the upcoming snow removal. They renewed the contract with the local contractor for the gravel roads, and that's it for now. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And for District 3, I just want to mention very quickly, we received notification that it appears that we'll be getting speed control signage out at Tim Hortons Irving, which is much appreciated and long overdue. Not necessarily what we asked for, the 60-kilometer zone, but that signage should help us. That speed zone is reduced from a 90 or 100 down to 80. So we do acknowledge the local support we received from Steve McDonald on that, and we'll look forward to the installation of those speed controls. So with that, you're good. I'm going to move on to, is there any notice of motions this afternoon? None were received, so there are none. So we're going to start with district concerns and start with district number 1, Councillor McNeil.
Thank you, Warden. There's a couple of issues, actually. CAO brought it up in our report about the street lights on the bridge in Iona still being out. It's going on a year and a half now. I know they're working on it with TIR and Link Electric. Also, there's still no street light in South Cove, and that's another issue that's been under consideration for the last year and a half too. And hopefully staff will contact somebody in Nova Scotia Power again about that. And also, I just want to thank everybody that organized the Christmas party last weekend for staff and municipal staff too. And it was a good time. The food was fantastic, and I think a good time was had by all. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor, and we're going to go to district number 2.
Thank you, Warren. Just first, just want to send thoughts and prayers to Mr. Gibson about missing his wife, Mrs. Bain. Just we're still thinking about them. The another one is I have and as you know, maybe you hear in your districts, the Cape Breton Victoria Center Education, they have short bus drivers. Bede Academy was impacted with some drivers. So instead of 5 buses right now, they driving 3. So right now they took 2 from my district. They took 2 roads, 2 stops, and the kids they're going for they're going home. The last kid go at 4:30. This kid is going home. I have a family in Hillcrest Drive. It's 3 families on their grade 5. Everybody's in elementary, so the kids have to walk by themselves sometimes or the parents have to go work. So the bus is stopping until 8:40 to pick the kids. I sent some emails to Tara Gasket. I'm commenting this because I want to send a letter to them to. We want to lose these 2 stops. They're very important. So once they start taking stops, we not get them back. So I just want to make sure they know that we need to get back these bus stops in when they hired or they're finished training the new spare drivers. I would like to send this letter to the Minister of Education, Becky Durnan, with copy with MLA Keith Bain, and of course to Tara Gasket and Susan Kelly, to tell them that it's unacceptable. They trying to put all the kids, 300 kids in 3 buses. We have the Bedek children, they walk, but the rest, they're just in the buses coming until 4:30 home. So it's unacceptable. And I would like to, As to our MLA, Keith Bain, to as to the house, why are they doing this to the families in Victoria County and Cape Breton CBRM? And they inform me that this is happening too in CBRM and all over the island. So why are you doing that? I think it's poor management. If they know the people, the drivers, they will not be, they will have short drivers. They could do something before to instead of just cut process. So I would like to send a letter to the minister. I would like to make a motion.
Okay, we have a motion from Councillor McLeod in regards to bus conveyance. Do we have a second for that motion, please? It's Councillor Organ has her hand up. Councillor McDonald as well, but Councillor Organ had her hand up first. So she is seconded. All in favor? Contrary minded?
Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Anything else?
Okay, thank you. And just if last council meeting, we asked for about the donation for free skating from District 1 to 5. Thank you very much. Just was an amount left over, so I would like you, they can take it from my district budget. It's $275 to go to the free skating for the Bedek rink. I have after with the missing Mr. Baines missing, some search groups came to Middle River, and Middle River Hall opened the doors and help them with accommodations and food. So I would like to, if they take $500 from my district budget for them, for the Middle River Hall, in regarding the support for the search groups, please.
Okay, you don't need a motion for that, but it is noted in the
No,
minutes.
just do it because I don't have internet today. And that's it, I think. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor. And for my district, overrun on that ice rental, I'd be more than happy to share that with you and also
Yeah.
contribute to.
You okay? We can split both. Yeah. Thank you.
Very good. We go to district number 4, please.
Yeah, I was wondering what happened with the district planning and the demolition.
Yeah,
Not part
good
of that meeting.
no, and we did note that you stepped out because it was in your district. The orders were a motion to order to demolish for both properties. So it's moved and passed this afternoon.
Okay, so you said 2 properties. What was the other property? There was one
there
in
was-
Tarbert.
Yeah, there was a McKay property and a Walker property, one in Tarbert and one in Englishtown.
One in Englishtown?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know about the one in Englishtown.
Yeah,
Um,
that was a long-standing file. I think it probably was probably submitted prior to your joining council of last year. So
Okay. And then I wondered, given the disasters lately with all the rain, and that area in North River Tarbert, all of that area doesn't have cell service. I wondered if there's something that we can do to get cell service there. And I did speak to a local resident who's been kind of on top of cell service issues, and he was telling me that there's a black box that can be put on telephone poles that will bring cell service. And I other than that, I don't know anything about it, but I wonder if that could be something that's looked into about getting cell service in those areas that don't have it.
yeah, I'm just Deputy Warden is here with me, and he's on the broadband committee, and he suggests that we contact Develop Nova Scotia to see what technology may be available, such as what you described. We'll just contact them and find out. Absolutely.
And the other thing I wondered, when when we're going to review this, our streetlight policy.
That's a good point. We have it on our radar. We're going to talk about it today, and let us schedule that for next council. And it will be a discussion item at that point, and we'll take a look at the present policy and just see what's needed. We won't be developing a new one until we take a good evaluation of the previous one, but that is a discussion that came up today with Leanne and I in another conversation.
And did they say when this demolition will be taking place?
Our next council meeting is on January 10th, and we'll, sorry?
Did they say
that-
when the demolition
Great.
would be taking place?
To give them 30 days, and then if it's not demolished, then the municipality goes in, or the tender is out for demolition, and then the cost of that demolition and cleaning up the property goes on the tax bill.
Okay, thank you. That's
Thank
it
you.
for me.
Thank you. We're going to go to district number 6.
Yes, good afternoon. Thank you, Warden. The only thing I'd like to make a motion for a street light at Tall Pine Estates, and I will fill out the form and with the coordinates for Stephanie in the near future, but I'd make that a motion.
We have a motion. Do we have a seconder, please?
Second.
Barb is seconded. All in favor? Contrary minded? Motion is carried. Anything else?
No, that's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Councilor Organ, anything for district number 7?
I know everybody's been working hard on our roads, and finally today would have been my first day going across the park road, but anyways, we turned back. But I've been getting a lot of complaints that the park moved too slowly repairing the roads. People don't realize how isolated we felt this way. Myself, I made 4 trips over the mountains in 1 week for appointments. So it was a long journey. Also the water issues, all I asked, and I have been, but not as quick as I wanted to, was get updates. I'm getting calls every day, sometimes 4 times a day, about the water issues and the roads. I'd just like to be clearer communication between departments and the councillors. And also, I know we asked Leanne earlier to send an invitation back to the Cape Breton Victoria Regional Center for Education for a meeting with us, because I mean, we are one of their biggest contributors for education. Also, we're losing 2 bus drivers north of Smoky. And I don't know if people realize that, but after Christmas, we're down 2 and there are no spare drivers. So I don't know what's going to happen to our bus routes. People may have to drive their kids to school. Cabot High is one of the only fully bused schools in the province of Nova Scotia. And I know a lot of kids take their cars, but a lot of kids don't. So I mean, that's something that we need to look into. So if an invitation could be ASAP in the new year, would be greatly appreciated. And that's it for me.
Hey, thank you, and appreciate your comments. And we know that people are frustrated down north and being separated. It's you have to live there to understand it, and we recognize that. We know it, we just don't feel it the way that you folks do. So points are well taken, and I think as far as communication, we'll do our best to improve that. And if you wish to follow up further with Leanne and the administrative part, and then with both parks and transportation to see if they can do a better job informing us of progress as they move forward. But
Thank you.
we have, and as far as the school board, the next opening that we have, we're trying to make arrangements to get them in and address.
They're scheduled for February 10th.
They're in for February 10th, so that's a good opportunity. And your
It might
comment.
be January, sorry, it might be, I'm just waiting to hear from
Sorry?
Stephanie. January or February 10th. Which is it? January 10th, they're already on our schedule.
Oh, they're in for January 10th. Good. And not only your comments, but Councillor McLeod's too. That yeah, it's not only a transportation issue; it's a safety issue. There's several layers to that issue. Thank you, Councillor. Appreciate that. And Councillor McDonald.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Warden. Just to, on behalf of myself and council, I think Councillor Long, I mentioned earlier regarding the wonderful attire that you're wearing, that we appreciate that you wore such a beautiful sweater to online council today. Just, it's very nice. I just want to make the note of that, so that everybody sees that.
Thank
And,
you. Congratulations.
it's a nice sweater. It really is. And just one concern, sir, is in regard to St. Margaret's Village, the local post office there. The postmaster is in the new year, I think, will be hanging up the socks, so to speak, and be retiring. And there were some concerns throughout the village there, what will be happening to the post office in general, because they will not be located where it's at. And the people of the community, it's a very valuable service, has been for over 60 years, and it's not something that they would want to see lost. There were a few businesses that were considering that they would take it to their location, and I directed them to Sean Tobin through Jaime Batiste. But I was wondering if the municipality, would they, if I could make a motion, maybe to write a letter to Canada Posting Corporation, or maybe MLA Keith Bain, to reiterate the importance of having the postal service in St. Margaret's Village and the importance of it. If I could make that motion, please.
We're absolutely, so we have a seconder for that, please.
Second.
Seconded here by the Deputy Warden. All in favor? Contrary minded, the motion is carried. Thank you. Anything
Yeah,
else, sir?
just lastly, I just want to mention that we do have our bus service back in the north, and I'd like to welcome Mr. Sheldon Wilkie, who's a resident of District 8, and we look forward to great service in the coming year. And that's it for District 8, sir.
Thank you, Councillor McDonald. Appreciate your comments. And just in regards to my sweater today, it is a Christmas Grinch. It was an audit meeting today, so I thought it was appropriate. I also missed the Christmas party, so I missed my annual opportunity to wear it. So I thought today, being its audit day, it would be appropriate. There is a button on it that it does flash, but it's we tried it earlier. Deputy Warden said it doesn't work, so sorry, I can't light up. So District 3, just a couple of quick things. One is I'm not sure if you saw on the local news that a physician in Nova Scotia was awarded from Doctors Nova Scotia award for health promotion for the province of Nova Scotia. Her name is Leah Genge, Dr. Leah Genge, and she's a former Bedeck resident. It's great that she was acknowledged by Doctors Nova Scotia. She does a lot of work with at-risk people in Halifax and Sackville. And I would just like to acknowledge her, that we as a municipality are very proud of her accomplishments as well. And we'd just like to send a quick note of recognition and congratulations to her. I know her personally. She's a lovely person, and I think she's most deserving of that award. So I'd like to make that a motion if I could, Deputy Ward.
Motion on the table. Do we have a second for that motion?
Second.
Seconded by Morgan. All in favor? Contrary minded, motion passed.
Just on another note that's not sure it's municipal note or not, but it certainly kind of annoys me a little bit. The Nova Scotia Power has applied to the UARB for some of the ratepayers to cover substantial costs for the Maritime Link, and in that cost includes the bonuses that I think are in the millions for senior staff that people of this province are going to be asked to pay for. And the Premier's expressed his disappointment with their request. And I would like to make a motion that we also express our concerns as a municipality to the UARB, that we agree with the Premier of this province that those increases should not be paid, and bonuses should not, those bonuses in particular, should not be paid by the residents of this province. I'd like to make that a motion, please.
Motion on the table. We have a seconder for that motion.
Second.
Second by Councillor McNeil. All in favor?
And the third of four, I just want to talk about the village in a minute, but it has come to my attention that the Deputy Warden is retiring December 28th from Parks Canada. And certainly on behalf of council, we want to congratulate him on his retirement. And I'm sure that he's got busy plans in the future with grandkids and family as he retires. So good luck on behalf of myself and the council. And if you wish to congratulate Deputy Warden, please do so. His hard work and many years of with Parks Canada. Congratulations.
Thanks very much. Appreciate it.
So young to be retiring. So. The last thing I just want to mention is that although I was away for the past 2 weeks, I was FaceTime into the Village of Adak meeting that I believe was on December 4th. There's a recommendation by ratepayers of the village to stay as a village. And as a municipality, we do respect the decision of the ratepayers and agree with it and accept it. Some of those changes that they may be making could have some administrative, I wouldn't say changes, but there'd be some administrative impacts with the municipality. So I would like permission of the council that both the CAO and myself meet with the village and just discuss about how the future looks in regards to operating with the village as we kind of move forward. Leanne was at the meeting. I kind of FaceTime in on it, so I'm not sure if Leanne wants to add anything to that from an administrative point of view. But if you do, Leanne, please comment.
Just want to say I attended. It was seemed to be a unanimous decision that they had decided to stay rather than dissolve as a village. So I think that the residents spoke loud and clear. And I am concerned that not everyone knows that we are separate municipal entities. So I think that we have to make sure that the residents know that we are two separate entities of government. So that's the part that I'm most concerned with at this point.
Thank you. So is it okay that we proceed to just meet and have a chat with them and get a sense of what their plans are moving forward and how they may or may not impact us as we move forward? And we wouldn't want to meet with them without the knowledge and or the permission of council. So, and clearly where it is my district, it's probably paramount that way as well. So, and we will report back to council as to how the conversation went. So. All right, we know they have challenges and we wish them luck as they go forward. We always had a good relationship with the village, and again, we worked on many projects together and we respect their decision. And so Leanne and I will meet with them over the next couple of weeks, and perhaps by next council meeting, we will have we will report back if there is anything to report back. So with that, that is basically all I have. Thank you, Deputy Warden, for that. The last thing I just wanted to mention, we had there was a public meeting last night at the rink in Bedak. It was a good conversation. We had an opportunity to speak, although I think there was a bit of a misquote in Cape Breton Post today, but I can assure you that our feelings were that we can be part of the process, but we certainly are not in the rink business, and we will be an interested participant. And I also mentioned that we had made a motion that we agree in principle to support a new civic center in Bedak, but that we will work with whatever group is moving forward to try to establish a new community center, whatever it may look like. So. And I'm not sure if that's actually the way the quote was in the paper today, at least originally. And the reason being is that it was a virtual meeting, and I think some of the audio was a bit difficult to understand. And as a result, I don't think it was an intent to misquote. I think it was just what the reporter heard. So there is supposedly a correction, or the correction has already been made. So that's just for council's information. And just to assure you that didn't make any commitments that wouldn't have been approved by council, because any decisions about that process as we move forward always comes back to the council table, and it certainly would never make any comments or decisions otherwise. So I just want to clarify that. So that's good. All right. Anything else as far as committee reports this afternoon? Thank you. And I just want to reference that we had several councillors on that call last night with for the rink, and I appreciate your interest in that as well. So thank you for that. Any correspondence, Leanne?
I think there was anything that we've received, I've forwarded on to you, but there was the one yesterday.
There was a proclamation. I think I sent it. You have to have it there.
I don't, and we're having a problem with internet, right? So I don't think I can check. But it was something related to a letter of support related to raising the villages.
There was a request for a letter of support for raising the villages, and just give me
For
1
an
second.
NSLC application.
Sorry, I just had to get my phone. I'm scared to move it because it's our hotspot. I thought there was a proclamation for the month of January. Just let me check here. Do you by chance have that letter of support email right there so that we can deal with that?
I found it here.
Did you read?
Dear Warden Morrison, writing, we're in the midst of completing a funding application to the NSLC, Nova Scotia Liquor Corporation. We are applying for funding under the investment focus area of community well-being from NSLC's For the Good of Our Community Fund. Deadline to submit is January 5th, but we aim to submit by December 30th in order to leave some room for error. I'm writing to ask if you would ever so kindly support our funding application through writing a letter on our behalf. So this comes from Amanda Knight, the communications coordinator of Raising the Villages.
So is there any questions about that? Do we want to provide?
I have a question.
Sure.
It's just we didn't hear anything about them all this year. I don't know, Norman, you in the community, because we give the grants and all that, but I didn't hear any of the communities around here. They hear about them all year, so I don't know if that letter of support is for what is for the NSLC.
Yeah, it's to NSLC for a fund that they have, a community well-being fund that NSLC has. I don't have any.
Yeah, I don't know if they can explain, if they can, I don't know. It's just, I want to know why they're doing for Victoria County, because really I didn't hear anything, and people was asking me about where they are, or they're still on, because suppose they were more support for our groups. Norm, I don't know with Deidre, she's doing it.
There's been nothing up on this end. There's a while.
Perla, if the warden forwards this on to you, would you be willing to contact them to find out? And then maybe you could make the call if it's appropriate to do a letter of support?
Sure.
We just lost him. Okay. Okay, that would be great. I think that the warden just dropped off somehow.
Yeah, he's not here.
Okay, so that was the only correspondence that I knew about. And so the deputy warden is with him. So I'm not sure who steps in next to take the next step, but I'll assume it's me. I think we'll make a motion to adjourn.
Move. Yeah. I make the motion for adjourn. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, thanks everyone. So we will see you shortly again.
Okay,
Great, thank you.
right. Right.